Welcome to fascinating Norway, a country that blends a rich history, incredible culture, and breathtaking landscapes. Located in northern Europe, bordered by Sweden, Finland, and Russia, Norway is known for its stunning fjords, northern lights, and progressive social policies. Additionally, its vibrant capital Oslo offers world-class cultural attractions like the Opera House, Vigeland Sculpture Park, and museums. Its beautiful snow-capped mountains, glaciers, and coastal areas play a crucial role in Norwegian history and identity, bringing immense natural beauty and fascination. With a population of approximately 5.4 million people spread across a large area of 385,000 square kilometers, Norway is a captivating destination that offers a variety of unique outdoor experiences to explore. Norway's history traces back to prehistoric times when Norse and Germanic tribes settled in the region. During the Viking Age, 800–1050 AD, Norway emerged as a major seafaring culture, exploring new lands and raiding across Europe. Conflict among Norse chieftains was common, with Norway serving as the base for Viking conquests, spreading settlements and kingdoms across the North Atlantic. In the 11th to 12th centuries, Norway unified under a single monarch and adopted Christianity, blending Viking traditions with Christian beliefs. The 14th century brought challenges with the Black Death pandemic and Norway's subordination to Denmark under the Kalmar Union. However, Norway regained independence in 1814, forming a union with Sweden until 1905. The 20th century saw Norway face Nazi occupation during World War II, but it rebounded with prosperity from its oil and gas resources in the North Sea. Today, Norway is a modern, wealthy, and socially progressive nation, leading in global human development rankings. One of Norway's inspirations is Edvard Munch, 1863–1944, one of the most important and renowned painters of the Expressionist movement. His iconic painting, The Scream, from 1893, is a masterpiece that revolutionized art with its unique and emotive style transcending the norms of his time to influence generations of artists. Munch's works left a lasting impact on art history and enriched Norwegian and global culture with their unparalleled expressions of human anxiety and alienation. Do you know why Norway has such dramatic fjord landscapes? This distinctive topography was carved out by glaciers over millions of years. The difficulties posed by rugged terrain and excess glacial ice compelled the ancient Norse people to devise ingenious ways to inhabit these lands along the coasts and valleys. Thus, over the centuries, they developed clever maritime technologies like long wooden ships and fishing whaling skills to thrive against the formidable forces of nature. When visiting Norway, it is impossible not to marvel at the breathtaking landscapes dotted with fjords and mountains. Another aspect enhancing Norway's scenery is the phenomenon of the Northern Lights, or aurora borealis. These otherworldly colored light displays in the night sky turn the landscapes into a multicolored dancing spectacle. Originating from charged particles from the sun colliding with the Earth's atmosphere, the Northern Lights have enthralled dwellers in the Arctic region for millennia. Late autumn through early spring is when conditions are ideal for witnessing this marvel of nature at its finest in places like Tromsø and Svalbard. The shimmering curtains of greens, pinks, and purples stretch as far as the eye can see in an ethereal, almost supernatural phenomenon. And if you want to explore an incredible place in Norway, you can't miss the opportunity to visit the Lofoten Islands. This archipelago offers a unique experience of living in harmony with nature's raw beauty. Situated within the Arctic Circle, the Lofoten Islands provide breathtaking panoramic views of majestic peaks rising from the Norwegian Sea and an atmosphere of tranquility from being one of the world's most northerly inhabited areas. With its quaint fishing villages, many built around small harbors and inlets, residents have direct access to the surrounding waters and hiking trails. This is the ideal location for those seeking an authentic life, embracing the primal Norwegian landscapes. Additionally, residents and visitors have access to world-class outdoor activities like kayaking, fishing, and hiking, ensuring adventure and an active lifestyle amidst stunning surroundings. Now, speaking of surroundings, as you stroll through Norway's capital, Oslo, you can't help but notice the beauty that blends old and new. The streets showcase picturesque spots reflecting Oslo's rich Viking heritage, like medieval ruins at Gamlebyen, as well as its modern rebirth with the striking Oslo Opera House on the fjord. One of the city's highlights is its harbour front, a lively area with parks, museums, and outdoor cafes along the waters of the Oslofjord. Taking a boat tour is an unforgettable way to admire Oslo's waterfront districts with their colourful wooden houses on the slopes. Another highlight is Vigeland Sculpture Park, a green oasis filled with over 200 haunting human form sculptures by Gustav Vigeland, celebrating the cycle of human life. This vast park offers a peaceful retreat with its fountains, bridges, and wooded areas, perfect for a leisurely stroll surrounded by world-famous art. Additionally, Oslo is establishing itself as a culinary capital, known for fusing traditional Nordic cuisine with innovative new Scandinavian food driven by foraging and seasonal local ingredients. Visitors can savor architectural gems like the Barcodiaria skyline alongside tastes of the wonderful land and sea. But if you're looking for some more adult fun, you should head to the capital city of Oslo, which offers a lively nightlife scene. Areas like Grünerløkka and Oslofjord are buzzing with trendy bars, nightclubs, and music venues catering to a variety of tastes. For those seeking outdoor adventures, Norway's stunning landscapes provide ample opportunities. Taking a cruise through the famous fjords like Geirangerfjord or Nerøyfjord allows visitors to soak in the breathtaking natural scenery. The colder months are ideal for winter sports enthusiasts with world-class skiing, snowboarding, and other snow activities available across Norway's snowy mountains. During the warmer seasons, hiking, rock climbing, kayaking, and fishing are excellent ways to experience Norway's great outdoors. The country also hosts several popular music festivals in the summer, such as the Øya Festival in Oslo, Molde Jazz Festival, and Trainer Festival, celebrating diverse genres. One of the most magical experiences is witnessing the Northern Lights, Aurora Borealis, in northern Norway, best viewed from September through March. No matter the time of year, Norway offers a range of fun activities that allow visitors to immerse themselves in the nation's rich cultural heritage and striking natural landscapes. And speaking of wonders, we have mouth-watering cuisines. One of the most iconic Norwegian dishes is fårikål, which consists of lamb and cabbage stewed together. This hearty stew is a national classic, especially popular in the fall when lamb is in season. Another highlight is lapskaus, a thick stew made with salted meat, potatoes, and various root vegetables like carrots, onions, and turnips. This humble peasant dish has been sustaining Norwegians for generations. For seafood lovers, Norway offers excellent fish dishes like fiskasuppe. It's a fish soup made with fresh catch like cod, salmon, or halibut simmered in a creamy broth. Fiskekladder are salt cod fritters, often served as an appetizer or snack. No Norwegian meal is complete without potater, potatoes, which are prepared in many ways: boiled, mashed, fried, baked, and even potato dumplings called raspeball. When it comes to desserts, Norwegians enjoy sweets like krumkake, cone-shaped wafer cookies, and multekrem, cloudberry cream, made from the tart cloudberries that grow in the wild. By savoring this delicious and authentic cuisine, tourists have the opportunity to connect with the essence of local culture, enjoying a sensory experience that evokes the traditions and identity of this country. By savoring this delectable and authentic cuisine, tourists can immerse themselves in the core of local culture, relishing a sensory journey that captures the heritage and character of the nation. If you're interested in getting to know Norway or even living there, it's important to know about issues like the minimum wage, rent, and food expenses. Starting with the minimum wage, although Norway does not have a nationally legislated minimum wage rate. Instead, minimum pay rates are set through collective bargaining agreements negotiated between trade unions and employers' organizations. There is no single national minimum wage that applies to all workers across industries and sectors. These collectively bargained minimum wages vary across different industries, occupations, and skill levels. Common minimum rates that have been agreed on include around $20 per hour for unskilled workers and $25 or more per hour for skilled workers like mechanics. For some sectors like construction, manufacturing, and trucking, agreed minimum wages can be $30 or more per hour. The lack of a statutory national minimum wage allows pay scales to be set more flexibly based on the competitiveness needs of each industry. Around 50% of Norwegian workers have their pay and conditions determined by these centralized bargaining agreements between unions and employer groups. Now let's talk about expenses. Norway has one of the highest costs of living in the world. For a single person living in Oslo, monthly living costs excluding rent are around $1,300. Rent itself is quite expensive. A one-bedroom apartment in Oslo's city center averages around $1,700 per month, while outside the center it's still around $1,300 on average. Cost of living estimates from the crowdsourced expat data on Expatistan provide more context. A basic lunch at an inexpensive restaurant costs $20 to $25. Groceries for a small family average around $700 per month. Additionally, monthly utilities like electricity, heating, and water for an 85 square meter apartment are around $220. An estimate of the minimum monthly budget of around $5,500 for a family of 4 to cover housing, utilities, groceries, transport, and other expenses. Several factors contribute to Norway's high cost of living. The country has a strong economy and high wages, which increases operational costs that businesses pass on to consumers. There are also added costs for imported goods. Moreover, Norway imposes high taxes to fund its generous social support system and public services. The cost of gasoline, for example, is around $6.50 per gallon. Consumer prices overall in Norway are about 30% higher than the European average. While the cost of living is very high, it is offset by Norway's also high income levels for residents. The taxes and higher operational costs allow for higher salaries and wages for Norwegian workers and residents. So while consumer items and services are expensive, incomes are relatively higher to afford the costs of living in this wealthy Scandinavian nation. Another aspect that influences the income of the Norwegians is taxes. Norway has a progressive income tax system with rates ranging from 23.7% to 38.4% of taxable income. The income tax is made up of a flat municipal tax rate, typically around 11.8%, and a progressive national tax rate between 1.9% and 16.2%. Tax rates increase at specific income thresholds, so higher income earners pay higher overall rates. The standard VAT rate in Norway is 25%, which is one of the highest VAT rates in the world. Some goods and services are subject to reduced VAT rates, like food at 15% and cultural activities at 10%. The corporate income tax rate in Norway is 22%, about average compared to other Scandinavian countries. Norway also levies a wealth tax on net wealth exceeding around $170,000 for individuals and $340,000 for couples. The wealth tax rate ranges between 0.7% and 1.1% on net wealth above those thresholds. Employers contribute 14.1% of employees' salaries to Social Security. Employees pay 5.1% of earnings up to around $75,000 for Social Security. Norway's high tax rates across income, consumption, wealth, and Social Security enable the country to fund its extensive welfare system, universal health care, free education, infrastructure, and other public services. The taxes are aimed at redistributing wealth to provide a high standard of living for Norwegians. Overall, Norwegians pay some of the highest tax rates in the world, especially for higher income brackets. However, the tax system supports Norway's robust social support system and benefits that improve quality of life measures. Another aspect worth mentioning is the women of the country. They are renowned for their natural beauty. Norwegian women generally have fair complexions, blonde or light brown hair, and blue or green eyes. Many Norwegian women allow their hair to be long and free-flowing. Beyond physical appearances, Norwegian women are educated and career-oriented. They value independence and equality in their relationships and marriages. Norwegian society promotes gender equality, so women have ample opportunities in higher education and the professional workforce. Norwegian women also tend to be physically fit and enjoy an active outdoor lifestyle when the weather permits. Hiking, skiing, and other outdoor pursuits are very popular in Norway's rugged landscapes. Norwegian women dress stylishly yet practically for the climate. Talking about climate, did you know that Norwegian children sleep outside? You heard that right. Here, and in some other Nordic countries, a peculiar practice is the habit of letting babies sleep outdoors, even in the snow, while they're in their strollers. This cultural tradition is based on the belief that exposing babies to fresh air and cold temperatures can help build stronger immune systems and make them more resilient against illnesses and allergies later in life. It is very common to see babies napping in their strollers outside homes, daycares, cafes, etc., regardless of the weather conditions in Norway. Babies are always dressed in thick, insulated outdoor clothing to keep them protected from the cold. This practice stems from the cultural philosophy of there's no bad weather, only bad clothing when it comes to being outdoors. Many Norwegians believe the fresh air and exposure to nature provides health benefits for infant development. The practice aims to allow babies to spend maximum time outdoors breathing fresh air. It is thought to help babies sleep better. So while it may seem quite strange to outsiders, intentionally letting babies nap outside in strollers during winter is a long-standing, accepted practice in Norwegian culture based on perceived health benefits. The babies are always properly protected from the elements. You might think this practice is evidence of a kind of backwardness in humans' thought, but that is far from the truth. You've probably heard about Norway being at the top of the highest human development index, only second to Switzerland. How did Norway achieve this? It all started in the 1960s when Norway discovered massive oil reserves in the North Sea. This transformed Norway's economy greatly. You see, before that, Norway relied mainly on fishing and agriculture. But with the oil reserves, Norway became one of the world's top oil producers. Having all this new oil wealth brought opportunities, but also challenges for Norway in managing it properly. The main company operating Norway's petroleum sector is Equinor, formerly called Statoil. It's state-owned and was created in 1972 to manage Norway's oil and gas. Now, under what's called the Norwegian model, the Norwegian government has a big stake in the energy industry. The idea is to ensure oil profits get invested responsibly and sustainably to benefit both current and future generations of Norwegians. A large portion of the oil money goes into the government pension fund of Norway. That's their sovereign wealth fund, one of the biggest in the world. It was established in 1990 to preserve and invest Norway's oil wealth for the future. This fund invests widely across stocks, bonds, properties worldwide to safeguard Norway's economy when energy markets are volatile. But Norway doesn't just save the oil money. The profits also finance many government programs for developing infrastructure, education, research, public health, social welfare, and more. This allows Norway to have such high living standards with great public services like free quality healthcare and education. Now, you may think with all this government assistance, Norwegians wouldn't commit crimes, but some still do. However, Norway enforces its laws strictly but humanely. Norwegian prisons focus on rehabilitating inmates, not punishing. Their prisons offer individual cells with amenities like TVs, fridges, desks, and private bathrooms, even windows with views to nature, no bars. Inmates access sports, education, job training to reintegrate into society after release. Thanks to this approach, Norway's recidivism rate is only around 20%, one of the lowest globally. Halden Prison is considered among the most humane, often compared to a nice hotel. In Norway, they take traffic offenses very seriously. They want to keep the roads safe for everyone, so they have strict rules and hefty fines for those who break them. But here's the interesting part. The fines aren't just a fixed amount. They take into account how much money the person who broke the rule makes. So, let's say two people committed the same traffic violation, like speeding or running a red light. One person has a high-paying job and makes a lot of money, while the other person doesn't earn as much. In Norway, the person with the higher income would have to pay a larger fine than the person with the lower income. The thinking behind this is that for some people, a small fine might not be enough of a deterrent to make them follow the rules. But if the fine is based on their income, it becomes a more significant amount, and they're less likely to take that risk again. It's kind of like how when we were kids, our parents gave us different punishments or rewards based on what would motivate us individually. Norway is trying to discourage dangerous driving behavior by making the consequences more meaningful for each person's financial situation.